Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to CrossFit Essential 101. My name is Chris, and today, welcome back to CrossFit Essential 101. My name is Chris, and today joining me we have,
Keelan.
and we're going to be watching some Penei Sewell with you guys today. He is a left tackle, number 58 for the Oregon Ducks out in Pac-12, who I believe are not going to be playing in the fall, if I remember correctly. I don't think the Pac is playing in the fall.
Yeah, I don't think so
I think
either.
he may have opted out anyway, even if they are. If I
I don't
remember
remember
correctly,
hearing that, but it's possible.
I think he may have opted out. So with that being said, we do have quite a bit of tape on Penei Sewell, which is nice, uh, because there's not really a whole lot of tape out on a lot of these guys, so it's been kind of a struggle to make some videos, to be honest. Even some of the bigger name guys don't have tape from last year up, which is kind of a pain. So we were able to find some on Sewell, which is very, very nice. And we'll be going over him with you guys today. So with that said, do you have anything you'd like to add? You said you watched him already, Keelan. Do you have anything you want to talk about first?
No, he's been by far the best left tackle in college football ever for the 2 years he's played. And if it was a regular season this year, there's no chance of anyone else being better. He's that good. He's the best left tackle prospect since I don't even know, a long time.
Very interesting. All right, so he does play for Oregon, which is kind of interesting because I have a little bit of familiarity with their offensive line from when Tyler Crosby went there, but I don't remember if they switched schemes since then. It's possible that he was pre-Cristobal, so I'm vaguely familiar with how they've typically run their offensive sets. So this should be pretty interesting. Anything else before we get started?
No, let's just go.
Well, so we have two games for you guys today, Auburn and Wisconsin. We'll start out with the Auburn game since that was the first one of the year and is also higher on the chart. Wisconsin, I think, was the bowl game if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
At least it would make sense for it to be the bowl game. And as mentioned, he will be the left tackle, number 58. Okay, nice at okay. Nice athleticism was going to be the first thing I said before I saw the finish. Yeah. Okay, nice engagement. Doing a really nice job with staying engaged so far. For those of you guys who are new to the channel this year, welcome. For those of you guys who are returning, welcome back. First offensive line video of the year. Nice strong hands. You can see that the Auburn defensive lineman here is really attacking and trying to free himself, but Penei just keeps a really nice job of doing a really nice job of staying engaged throughout the contact, throughout the duration of the play, not letting it go, while also at the same time not committing holding, not getting his hands too high up, etc. with that hand placement. Okay, nice job getting the second level. Oh my. Okay, so he's actually not going to be on the end of this play. He's going to be this player here because they go with this 8 lineman set. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. That's what I meant. They go with a 6-line reset here. So he's actually going to be this guy right here to the left of the center. And does a really nice job of opening that hole there to help, who I'm assuming is DJ Riddell up through that lane. Nice. One thing I'm noticing he's doing in pass protection is he's giving Herbert clear throwing lanes, which is really nice to see as well. Something that I know that Saints in particular stress a lot, and what makes Tyron Armstead and Ryan Rimchek as good as they are is their ability to give Drew Brees those clear throwing lanes. He's doing a really nice job with that with Herbert. Now, obviously, Herbert's a bigger guy, so not exactly the same thing as, say, Kyler Murray or Drew Brees or whatever, but the same point, in basically, is that he's doing a really nice job. He has a clear lane here to see that receiver, work on the timing, so on and so forth. Which, if you were to go to a team like, say, Arizona, not to say Arizona is going to be bad, in fact, I think quite the opposite, as we discussed off camera, Keelan. If he were to go to a team like that, where he needs to be a creator, utilize those angles, he's definitely got the potential to do that. Okay, actually caught off balance a little bit from Marlon Davidson. Oh, okay, missed the transition. Unless that was a double team, which is also possible. Okay, well, at least he dispositioned him. Probably would like to see a little bit more in terms of I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I'm looking for a word that keeps him outside of the run lane. A little bit more push, I guess, is probably the best thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Nice angle. Yes. Good drive. Ooh. Nice. Like his recognition here. Not to pick up that outside guy, 55, and instead to take that interior defender there. Actually, might have been Derek Brown. Is he afraid of holding calls? I don't know why he should be if he gets good hand position. Because he seems to be letting those lanes open up a little too early for my personal taste. Like at this point in the play, that 91 still has a pretty good chance of getting back in. Obviously, he doesn't. He's let go of him, though. But I don't know. I feel like he's being a little bit too. I love him in pass pro, though. He's doing a really nice job of not getting too far back. I just wish he would hold those lanes a little bit more. And by hold, I don't mean commit a holding penalty. I mean hold in terms of duration.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that was a little bit better. You utilize that angle a little bit better here to force that defender outside for an inside run. That's kind of more what I'm talking about. That was Derek Brown too. Where like Brown on this particular play, right, is they're running inside of him. So you want to force that defender away from the lane that you're running from. Like there, his defender made the play because he doesn't see engaged long enough, and he lets the defender get inside of him. So on this particular play, personally, I don't know, obviously this might change for pro teams and so on and so forth, But for me personally, if I know I'm running to the right side, if I'm the left tackle, I want to be pushing out so that you have lessen the chances of maybe a backside pursuit or someone getting through you. Because on this particular play, all he has to do is disengage and keep forward momentum moving. He's easily in on the tackle. So maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know if NFL teams view that the same way.
Yeah.
Same thing here. He's not going to be the end. They have a tight end on the ground. So there. I like him in pass pro though. He's doing a really nice job with the footwork aspect of things. Ooh, man, where did he come from? Oh, right side. Okay, so that wasn't nice. Yeah, see, that's more what I'm talking about, right? Like you're getting to see him move that defender out of the lane. That's nice. That's very nice. He definitely did his job on that play. It was a really nice job of fighting through the move. It was a nice active pass rush by 91, but Sewell did about as much as he could there on that play too. Oh, oh no, it wasn't. It's the guy down there. Oh, yeah, he got caught off balance a little bit. Nice. Yeah, and again, this play is a little bit more what I'm looking for myself. Just getting to see him angle that lane a little bit open so that you prevent him from pursuing that backside. Or getting out in front, even worse. Nice. I do prefer him in pass blocking over run blocking, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very unfortunate for the pass rusher. He ends up trying a spin move when he had him possibly beat around the end. It was a nice counter recovery, though, by Sewell, to be fair. Nice. And a tough position on that particular one. Nice seal. Taking Derek Brown on the play. Probably not much more he could have done there, unfortunately. Nice. Forced him to step up a little bit, allowed that collapse, but that's going to happen. Nice. Better. Okay, very nice. Yeah, see, I don't know if it's just him not being good in space, or what do you think, Keelan? Are you seeing the same thing that I am?
Yeah. I don't. I don't know if it's a scheme thing because Herbert's, or I guess this is. I I don't know if it's the way he's taught or if it's he's not going to space or if he's worried about a holding call, but it's definitely interesting to look at.
Because, like, obviously 91 isn't the one that actually makes the tackle on the play, but he got free relatively easily there and clawed that lane.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know why Herbert decided to take off on a 3rd and 16. Okay. Yeah, let him get too far inside again. And that could, at this point in the play, be considered a holding call. But he's not entirely perfect in pass pro either. We've seen him get knocked into QB a couple times. Herbert's had to scramble once
Yeah.
he got a little bit too deep. Yeah, he's getting a little bit too far out in front on this particular look. And he just completely leaves that outside wing exposed. That wasn't bad. It's almost like that was a nice pancake. It's almost like you see the technique and you see the athleticism, but you don't see the athleticism and the technique.
Yeah.
And I like how he's looking for people. And the one thing I will say too is, like I talked about before, even evaluating Tyrell Crosby coming out was pretty difficult because Oregon's offensive line, for as good as they are, and obviously Oregon's offensive line is loaded. There's a reason why Lions scouts have been going there for 2 years watching these guys. Uh,
Mm.
they are incredibly, incredibly talented. It's just kind of difficult to evaluate them at times because they're not doing the same things that you would expect from an SEC offensive line. Or, like, for example, when we watched Frank Ragnow, I think that video might even be on the channel. I think it was the first year we started Prospect Central. It
Yeah.
was really easy to see what Frank Ragnow was doing. He's a center for one, which helped. But SEC Arkansas just straight up bully a beat you at the line. And same thing with guys like Swing Jackson at Big Ten. Or like Ohio State, same kind of thing. Like, it was just straight up line up against you in Big Ten football. Just beat your guy. But I feel like Pac-10 football isn't exactly like that, and that kind of gave Auburn a little bit of an advantage in that matchup in terms of defensive line, offensive line too. Not to mention Auburn's defensive line is also very good, which I'm sure plays a factor. We're trying to game plan for guys like Brown and Davidson and so on. Which I'm sure didn't exactly help because they're probably asking them to do quite a bit. And of course, it's the week 1 of the season as well, too, which also could potentially play a factor. Maybe there's a little bit of rust factor involved, especially since college is in their preseason. And so many other things could be going into this, which is why I'm kind of excited to see a second game of this. Because, even on that play, but that was Derek Brown who just knocked him back. Derek Brown went, what, number 7 to Carolina?
5. Oh, yeah. Something
Like,
like that.
I don't remember if it was 7 or 8, but he went top 10 for a very good reason. He's a great football player. I had him number 1 on my board last year. So getting knocked back by Derek Brown is not exactly the end of the world. And that was more on Herbert than Sewell. At least he was able to kind of do what he had to on that play. He's very patient, which I like. That is something I will point out. Specifically in pass pro sets, he's definitely doing a really nice job of not engaging too early, not coming off as overly aggressive, so on and so forth, which is good. You've definitely seen the footwork and the athleticism from that standpoint, which is also very, very good in his kick and his pass sets. So he definitely has a lot of those elite blue chip skills that you're really looking for in an offensive tackle at the same time. It's just really weird. Part of it too is the offensive line is my weakest position. I will
Yeah,
say that.
it is definitely the hardest for me as well to evaluate.
Offensive line is going to be the one position this year where the simplification process makes a huge difference for me. That's
Yeah.
going to be fun. I could have been holding. Yeah, Auburn won that game because they were a lot simpler. Ew, by the way. I hope not.
Mhm.
Okay, so any thoughts following the Auburn game that you'd want to point out or
It's
re-highlight?
it's interesting. A lot of like what you noticed about like against the run, something I didn't notice the first time I watched, although it was more of a hobby, not watching for evaluation the first time around. But it's definitely interesting, and I'm excited to see this game against Wisconsin, which is the Rose Bowl, the last game of the season, opposed to the first game of the season.
Right. And also, Wisconsin, what makes them interesting is while they are a definitely power-oriented football team, similar to Auburn, they do things a little bit differently than Auburn. They don't have Derek Brown, so they don't really have like that specific game plan guy that you really have to look out
Yeah.
for. I think was Zach Baun last year, or was
No,
it the
he
year
was this
before?
year. No, it was just this last draft.
Okay, so he was on this game.
Yes.
Okay, so
Unless
you look
he
at
opted
this.
out, which I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. So we should see Zach Baun in this game. But yeah, like they have like their stand-up edge rushers and so on and so forth. They're not going to try and beat you up with middle power like Auburn does. So this will be a little
Right.
bit more of a different system test as well too. More of like the traditional 2-4-5, which is my favorite defense. So maybe a little bit of a rust factor. That's something to. There you go. Nice. Good use of the angle there to drive out. Again, this is what I was talking about originally in the first video. See how they're running inside of him to his right. So you want him to drive out to
Yeah.
the left. No, to be fair, that was a line call. So, but still followed that direction there nicely. Same thing. See, look at the angle difference. I don't know if this is a coaching change, if he learned, if this is a rust thing, but even just already, look at the difference here on how he adjusts this angle. Right, they're running right behind, up the middle. Look at how he's positioned on this play, facing out toward the out of bounds marker to really open up that lane. So if Wardell, I'm
Right.
assuming is the running back, if he wants to run, if he needs to counter this back in behind Sewell, he can do that. He has that flexibility to be able to counter this, and all Sewell has to do is he just like he does right here and redirect a little bit more inside. And unfortunately, someone else gets shed. But that's exactly what I wanted to see in the first game. Very nicely done. Boom, just utilize that outside angle. And then, oh, it's because he ran too far in the middle. If he would have ran a little bit closer to the end, he would have been better off. Very nice. Nice second. Oh, whiffed in space. So it could be a space thing. Nice patience. Very nice. Yeah, again with the discipline here, just angles out. Keeps this guy in front of him. Beautiful. Nice. Good adjustment. A little bit late, but that was because they were coming downhill. Oh, yep, Bong was in this game. Okay. Nice drive. Nice transition. Well, about as great as he could have done at least there. Oh, yeah, okay, so he did his thing. He ends up pushing, watch how he pushes him into that block. That's really nicely done. That's how I learned that you taught to do that. Nice. Good anchor, great anchor, rather, there on the line. Okay, and start trying to force him around the end. So we're also getting to see a little bit of versatility in that technique here. We're seeing him play a little bit tighter to the line and play a little bit more of that power block. We're also seeing on this particular play, trying to force him around the end. So he's familiar with different techniques. Nice. Yeah, and same thing as we just talked about on the last play, the last time we talked rather, we talked about how he was trying to force around the end. This play stays a lot tighter to the line and plays that power block role. Doesn't let him get around the end at all. And tries to minimize that pocket collapse. That was a really nice job. Great rep. Let's play. Fortunately, he can't block two guys at once. He blocked this guy though. Nice. See, I would prefer that you let that guy inside here, because watch, right? So at this point in the play, this is this is a screen pass. So you let the guy go inside and then take the guy moving out. That's really nicely done in terms of mental. Beautiful. Same thing, right? You know that this is a roll right, so I want to see, personally at least, I want to see you block that guy out, and he does exactly that on this play, allowing for Herbert freedom of movement throughout this whole entire space here. Well done. Then blitz call? Yeah, it was blitz call. Running back missed. No clue what that was. Just gonna pretend I didn't see that. Nice. Good straight up pass block rep. Nice. And again, just like drive out here. Right? Knows he has that run behind him. Drive out. Ah, I got beat. Second level. That was a good play by the linebacker. So you're going to see Sewell try and climb up to get to this linebacker, but the linebacker's already shifted inside. Okay, nice transition there. Nice, good protection call. Yeah, see, this is what we talked about in the first game, right? So watch what happens here, right? So this is what I don't want to see more of is has that run behind him to the right, and the guy has a clear lane to the right and makes a tackle for loss. So instead, if you guys see opportunity to, I want to see a little bit more of a drive out, or at least an angle out, like especially at this point in the play. See if you can control that block and then direct out to the left instead of at this point basically giving up on the block. Nice, like that was a lot better. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for the team, but he did exactly what I wanted to see him do on this particular, like that outside block for the run right. Beautiful. Nice, same thing, right? Perfect. There's really nice shove with that nice angle here. And this is going to be run to the right. And opens up this lane for Verdell to take if he elected to. Unfortunately, he doesn't. But ends up forcing that around the end. Really nice. Same. Ooh, that was nice. Okay, I kind of like what he did here too. Adjusted mid block here. Realized where leverage was and took it. Tries to block the straight up initially. And yeah, he opens this hole initially for Verdell, which is good. And then he engages in that block, stays engaged in that block long enough to keep that lane for Herbert. It's really nice. Nice drive, great physicality. Excellent. Nice shove, same with the guy there, 56. Check on. Able to keep up with him. He's definitely athletic. Nice shot looking for a guy to block.
Yeah.
Great mental traits for sure. Nice second level. I'd like to see a little bit more against the counter move, but whatever, there's a flag. Ooh. Alright, I like that inside shove. Okay. Okay, he runs call out, which is pretty cool. Seal? Nope, just okay. That worked out though. Nice, same thing. Very nice angle block. Good job pushing that defender out. Unfortunately, didn't engage, but same idea. Nice. Good job of keeping the guy in front of him. Same thing, nice recovery. Nice transition. whiffing space. Yeah, so that's going to be a common theme. It looks like is not really the greatest in space. I definitely would prefer him going to a power team. Okay. So one thing I'm going to do is okay. Well, first off, what are your thoughts on Sewell versus Wisconsin?
Well, it's definitely interesting, and a lot of things that I really didn't notice in the first game or the first time I watched him. It is his spacing and run defenses concerning at times, but all in all, I still think he's a really good prospect.
Anything else?
I think he's one of the better pass rushers to come out in a long time, and I definitely feel more comfortable, like you said, with him in a power scheme.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is I pulled up some CJ Riddell versus Cal tape. I just to get a little bit of a third game because I want to
Cool.
see what he's doing against pack competition. So there's only 4 minutes of this, which is not a whole heck of a lot, but we'll get a little bit more insight here into the all 22 variation of this. Okay. Nice pull. Okay. I'm assuming most of these are probably going to be run plays as well.
Right, yeah. If you wanted to watch even more, you could always go to Herbert's tape.
Right, but it's the same thing. Herbert's going to be mostly passing plays, I would bet. They're not going to
Okay.
show a whole bunch of handoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was nice. You do a nice job of covering there and getting that second block. That was pretty nice. Okay, nice initial double team. And yeah, there you go. A little bit more of that angle. Opens up a little bit more inside. Allows ring back behind him to the outside. Stay engaged long enough there, which is good. Probably about as good as you're going to get away with. That was nice. What are your thoughts on his drive, Keelan?
Well,
You know what I mean
I
when I say
think
drive, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I like his drive. It's it seems at some points it's inconsistent. At at the same time, I don't know if that's what he's taught to do or if that's just what he does out of habit at this point.
That's nice. Because you'd think if they were going to put him into a little bit more of that zone scheme, like you can tell a lot of these blocks are coordinated team blocks. You would
Yeah,
think that they would, I guess, rely on him a little bit more to kind of generate that. I don't know. All right, what are your thoughts on Sewell overall?
he's definitely an interesting prospect. Um, he's like I said, an elite pass rusher, and I'm honestly,
Blocker.
you've been watching tape. That's what I meant. Ay ay ay. Anyways, what I was saying, you've been watching tape a lot longer than me. I'm curious if your thoughts comparing him to like past elite offensive linemen coming out, because a lot of people have been calling him like the best pass blocker to come out since the guys like Joe Thomas.
Okay, well, I can tell you just from what I saw through those two, plus a little bit more games, I like Andrew Thomas more than I do Sewell. Now, how he compares, obviously, is still in the top tier. I'd probably put him over Wills. I'd probably put him over um,
Right.
Becton. I'd probably put him over. Who was the other guy in that group? Wills, Becton.
Worse.
Worse, yes. I definitely liked him more than I did Tristan Worse. Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a zone thing for me. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm a man blocking type of evaluator. I prefer guys who run that man blocking scheme. Lions run a man blocking scheme more often. At least they did under Davidson. So I guess that's kind of where obviously I'm a little bit more of a football traditionalist in that sense too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the same time, I liked the Notre Dame guys. I really liked Quentin Nelson. I really liked McGlinchey. I'd probably compare Sewell to McGlinchey. That's probably the closest thing I can think of. But
Yeah.
even then, I think McGlinchey was a little bit more, um, I guess, consistent. But at the same time, McGlinchey was a right tackle, and he was on a lot. Well, even Penei Sewell has a heck of a line around him. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to explain too, but it just I don't like him as much as I did Joe Thomas. That was one of my first years of scouting was when Joe Thomas came out. Jeez, that's a throwback. Uh, out of Wisconsin, yeah. Uh, I I think I like Ramczyk a little bit more. Speaking of Wisconsin guys, I was pretty high on Ramczyk when he came out. I will say that I like Andrew Thomas. Just for recent examples, I would say I like Andrew Thomas more.
Fair.
I'm trying to think, what was the year before that? Oh my gosh, there was the year with Cam Robinson.
That
That year
was
was a
I thought that was
mess.
2016.
What?
Who was the year before?
There was the one year where like Cam Robinson was like one of the top rated offensive tackles in the class. That year was I would probably take Sewell over. I don't remember if that was the Ramczyk year or not. If it was the Ramczyk year, I'd take Ramczyk over him. I don't remember if that was the McGlinchey year. If it was, I would take McGlinchey over him.
It
But there was
was
like the year where
the
like
year after. It was the Jonah Williams year.
oh yeah, I'd take him over Jonah Williams.
Andre Dillard,
I'd
Tice
take him
Howard,
over Dillard too. Yeah,
Caleb McGarry. Those were the offensive linemen pick in the first
I
round.
would take him over McGarry too.
Yeah, I would too.
Who was in that Cam Robinson class? That was 2017. So I think that was McGlinchey year.
McGlinchey was 2018, and McGlinchey with who else?
Oh no, it was
Colton
Ramczyk.
Miller.
Okay, never mind. It was. It was. I
When
just looked up. It was Ryan Ramczyk. But yeah, the other guys in that
uh,
class, Garrett Bowles. I'm taking Sewell all day over Bowles. I'm taking Cam Robinson all day over. I mean, I'm taking Sewell all day over Cam Robinson. Uh, Forrest Lamp, yeah, that's not even close. Lamp was a guard. Like
yeah,
that class was horrid. So he's probably pretty comparable to Rimshack. Of course, Rimshack went 32nd too. Uh,
yeah,
but like, yeah, he's probably offensive tackle one in that class for sure too. So it's pretty easy to see that he's one of the best offensive line prospects. When in reality, there's not really a whole lot of great offensive line prospects that have come out the last couple of years.
right.
But yeah, I'm taking him over. I would say Andrew Thomas is probably the best guy in that group of four classes, followed by McGlinchey, and I'd probably
Yeah,
have Sewell, Ramczyk in that next year.
cool.
But yeah, he's definitely a franchise left tackle. I will give him that much. Uh, Concerns. Playbook for me is going to be one. Uh, Nothing with character athleticism. He looked great in terms of getting into space. Uh, don't really have anything with medical. He's not a special teams guy. Nothing really with mental toughness. He's not small. So yeah, the main thing for me is going to be playbooking system. How does he adjust if he gets put into a different scheme? Player comparison. Oh man, it's a left tackle. It's come out from a zone scheme like that. I'm going to do a little bit of research on this myself. Can you kind of cover some time? Think of some things that you want to talk
Sure.
about?
Well, I know that you mentioned McGlinchey for the player comparison. Obviously, you're doing research now,
McGlinchey
but
was a right tackle though, which is kind of why I don't want to stick to that.
fair enough. Was he was he right tackle at Notre Dame too, or did he swap over at when he went to San Francisco?
I think he played both at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. I did think he played a little bit of left tackle, but I don't know. Um, I saw some people on Twitter saying Jalen Mayfield's better than Sewell, which I thought was absurd. But you've watched Mayfield more than I have, being a Michigan guy. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No. Nah. I'm not taking any Michigan lineman over Sewell. Nope.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, dude, I'm not like saying that because that's a Michigan OL hate thing. Warner's actually done pretty good with Michigan offensive lineman development. I can't put any Michigan lineman in the first round. On the other
Fair.
hand, now that you mention it, obviously going back a little bit of ways, but that gives me an idea for a comparison. So
Hmm.
thank you for that. I'm
You're
gonna go
welcome.
with Taylor Long.
Interesting.
Okay. Uh, Obviously, Michigan at the time, well, it was Rich Rod, so I mean, it's not like we're talking Jim Harbaugh power blocking, but Michigan was definitely known for their power blocking line. Plays in the power blocking system now in Tennessee. Definitely more of a physical, grinding out guy. Left tackle needs some help at times, especially when dealing with some of those more athletic ends. Uh, they double with tight ends quite a bit, or at least they did 2018. I don't know if they changed that in 2019 with their OC change. But when he played under LaFleur in 2018, they helped him out a lot with tight ends in Tennessee.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I kind of get that. At the same time, one's kind of in that same tier too. Like I mean, like we're not talking Joe Thomas, like blue chip, probably best left tackle in the game for several years on years on years. The one's kind of right now for me
yeah,
in that second tier too. Uh, like behind your Tyron Smith, your Ronnie Stanley, and so on. Uh, so I'd
yeah,
kind of put him in that group as well myself going in. Now, of course, he's a rookie. He has a lot more of that development path and so on and so forth. He has the ceiling, which we'll get to in a second here, of some of those elite guys. But in terms of where he's at right now, he's probably more of a mid-tier guy, stepping in on day one. Biggest strength for me, hmm, how do I even want to, what do I even want to go with? Uh, I'm gonna go with footwork. He showed exemplified really, really nice footwork on his kick. He definitely knows how to get to his spots, which is good. He has the versatility in terms of staying tight and going out wide, depending on the rusher and things like that. He's able to kind of get utilize that balance in space. So uh, overall, his feet, his lower half is a lot more controlled than his upper half. I will say so far. Definitely a lot more polished from that standpoint for me. Biggest weakness is blocking in space. Uh, Not really a huge fan of what he was able to do. Now he can get to second level. We see him get to that point, but he gives me a lot of Tristan Wirfs vibes in that sense too. Maybe actually Tristan Wirfs is a pretty good comp for him, though I like him a little bit more than I do Wirfs. Uh, I think Wirfs also is a little bit more of a guard type of potential guy, whereas I think Sewell's locked in at left tackle. Uh, so yeah, kind of similar issues in that standpoint for me. Ceiling is going to be medium floor and very high ceiling. He has potential to be one of those top five left tackles in the game for sure. But stepping in, I don't think he's going to
mm,
get there. He's probably going to be more of that 10 to 15, top 20, maybe even as a rookie uh, type of guy for you on day one. Plus potential a little bit higher, especially given what expectations are going to be for him coming in. I'm not going to go extremely high because I think he's still a pretty good player. But given that he's projected to go top 5, top 10, I'm going to go with probably 30% for me in terms of bust potential. Games watched were Auburn, Wisconsin. I'll throw Cal in there as well. Okay, so here are our core traits for Sewell here. The core traits for offensive linemen this year are going to be run blocking, pass blocking, man blocking, and zone blocking. Man blocking and whoops, zone blocking. Okay, so pass blocking, pretty simple. Everything that has to do with man or with pass blocking, so that's footwork, that's strength, that's angles, that's ability to force around the end, that's just straight drive, that's all that kind of stuff that basically prevent the pass rusher from getting to the quarterback. Everything that's encompassed in that is pass blocking. Run blocking, well, I'll actually do these one by one. So pass blocking for me is going to be a 20 out of 25, which is a B minus, or I'll just call it a B, and a 6.6. 20B 6.6. Run blocking is a little bit better. For me, I'm going to go with a. Actually, wait, no, I flipped that. Whoops, my fault. Okay, so that's going to be a 20B 6.6. So basically, my issues with him as a run blocker, that's going to be everything that encompasses run blocking. So that's going to be angles, that's going to be drive and push, that's going to be anchor, that's going to be getting to second level in some cases. So that's probably going to be a little bit more heavy influencing zone. It's going to be all the things that are encompassed with basically creating yards for your running back pre-contact. So yeah, it's going to be a 20B 6.6. That's my fault. And then that is going to be a 22B. I think it's 23, right? Yeah, 23. So 22 is top of the B range at 6.8. 22B 6.8. Man blocking is going to be better. He hasn't shown a whole lot in man blocking, but I like his potential a little bit more in man blocking. I'm going to go with a 24, which is an A, and a 6.9. And zone blocking for me is going to be back down to a 20, which is a B, and a 6.6. So that is minus 10, minus 1, it's 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's minus 14, which is an A6. So on the AF scale, it's a solid B grade. And on the NFL scale, that is, I think, right in the middle of the B scale, so that should be a 6.7. Or starter with us. Okay, thoughts on one sentence summary. I forgot to do this with Farley. Crap. Oh well. One sentence summary for me is going to be strong, athletic LT who should stick with Penei Power team. Alright, so, your thoughts. Fully, beyond what
I
you
like it.
said.
I give him an 88 grade, which is. Hmm? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said your full thoughts beyond just what you said earlier while I was doing my player
Oh,
composition.
alright. I gave him an 88 grade, which it was pretty close to yours. I liked him more on pass blocking, and I think he's. Well, I agree with you. I do have a higher grade on him than Andrew Thomas. I think he's the second best left tackle that's come out in quite a while. So he's really talented. I think he can be a starter day one in the NFL if whenever. I don't know if he's going to be playing a spring season with Oregon or if he's just going to go straight to the NFL. But I think he's going to fit right in, starting left tackle day one. Do whoever drafts him in the top 10.
Yeah, and if you're drafting him that high, obviously you need a left tackle. Or you're planning on switching him to right and you really need a
Right.
right tackle. So no matter what, he's going to be starting for you. Uh,
Absolutely.
really, just the question is how good is he going to be? Does he really fit with a particular team? Uh, is he a guy that you're going to take for positional value? Do you value left tackle more than, say, I don't know, quarterback? Like for the Panthers, right? I mean, if you have Teddy Bridgewater, are you going to take the left tackle knowing that you need pass block help and try and build around Teddy Bridgewater, or are you going to take an
Right.
actual quarterback like a Trey Lance? So there's going to be a lot of discussions like that going on around the league, I'm sure, as we approach the draft as well. Are there any particular teams that you see him fitting with?
A team that, I mean, I do wonder and kind of like his fit with the Lions if we don't end up re-signing Decker and we end up, for some unwanted reason, end up picking in the top 10. I think he could be a really good fit to replace Decker.
You know what's funny is when I asked that, I was thinking the exact same thing. Uh, Decker, yeah, there's definitely a spot for us there. Uh, or, for example, we need a new regime, something silly happens,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to talk about that at this point, but uh, if there were something that were to happen where, we'll say we need to reset, or like Decker doesn't get an extension, or whatever, um, yeah, I definitely would not be opposed to him, despite obviously the critiques we've made towards him. I still definitely think he's great enough. I would be happy to have him here. Uh, if we were to be in a position to trade up for him, or he fell to us, or so on and so forth, maybe he falls a little bit leading up to the draft. Maybe he doesn't test as well as people think, and he starts to fall a little bit. Or maybe this offensive tackle class starts to rise up a little bit, and maybe he falls, or maybe there seems to be limitations to his game. Maybe they think we want more of a right tackle, or maybe we want a little bit of a swing tackle, or maybe not putting out tape this year hurts them a little bit in the eyes of the scouts, and people are bringing him strictly off 19 tape, and what we saw with this guy in 2020, things like that. There's all different kinds of factors that can go into this over the next several months um, that will allow, at the time of recording this in almost September, pretty much every team still has the opportunity to get him. So definitely something I would not be opposed to targeting, at least at this specific point in time, if I'm a Lions fan, for sure. On the same token, I don't know what Taylor Lions contract situation is like. Tennessee would be very interesting. I know that the Giants were at one point talking about playing Andrew Thomas at right tackle. I don't know how I feel about that, but he would be a very interesting pair with Andrew Thomas in New York. Definitely fits their system as well. Obviously, the same kind of regime.
Yeah, I was
Who else is kind of in that same mold? There's a couple other teams. Miami would be a fantastic fit, and they just took Austin Jackson. I like him a lot more than I do Austin Jackson last year. So there's quite a few teams in that kind of mold, but yeah. Anything else, Keelan?
no. You are starting to sound like a robot, so I don't know if that's my end or if what's happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll fix that before we do the next one with Sam. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Learned a thing or two along the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more future content like this over the next coming days,
But
weeks,
other than
months.
that, I think we covered it all.
I can't understand you, so you're gonna have to send it in the group chat. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Learned a thing or two along the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this over the next coming days, weeks, and months. But for now, hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.